think the big game we need to talk about first is Baylor at Texas. Texas is a top 10, top 15 team. Baylor went into Austin and just kind of treated them like a rag doll. Like Texas made that run early in the second half, but it never really felt like the Longhorns had a foothold in that game.
No, but there was a minute where you were like, all right, maybe. Like Texas, I think, took the lead early in the second half. You're like, all right, maybe. And then, when Baylor gets going, especially defensively, they just create some offense, which they don't even need to create offense with their defense, but they do. And then Jared Butler, it was almost like Jared Butler said, all right, F this. Enough is enough.
Yeah.
Right?
Baylor, it feels like Baylor every game has that one moment where they're like, all right, you know what? Fuck.
What are we doing?
We're done.
We're
just
playing.
Kick your ass now. Go home.
Right. We're done.
You're done.
We're done playing with you. Let's go. I've now come to the conclusion, Rob, I don't want Baylor and Gonzaga to play in the regular season. I have no desire for it. I want it in the national title game because, frankly, I think that's what we need. I think it'd be great storylines. I think it's the two teams that everybody kind of picked out from the outset this year. Villanova being like a close third, but these were the two best teams in the country. Most people knew it. I want to see it in April in Indianapolis. And I think, again, we don't have the big boys in the tournament this year, but I don't know if that I like this better in a way. I like this better for the sport. I know the ratings won't be there because you won't have Duke, Kentucky fans, watching as much, the diehards, but I think the casual fan could really kind of grasp onto this.
Yeah, especially since there's a lot of interesting pro prospects on these teams, right? Like Jalen Suggs is you think he's going to be the number one overall pick. You are on record saying that he is going to be better than Derrick Rose and John Wall.
I did not say he's going to be the number one
Jason pick. Yeah, you said that if you take all of the best stuff, like to take Derrick Rose's athleticism, Jason Kidd's passing, and Kyrie Irving's ability to score, you put that all into one player. And that is half of what Jalen Suggs.
If you make this clip and put that in there, I'm done. I'm done.
No, I won't. Look, we both love Jalen Suggs. I'm just messing with Goodman. But Jalen's going to be awesome. Corey Kispert's going to be a lottery pick. I've been beating the Davion Mitchell first round pick drum for a while now, and it looks like I saw Mike Schmitz and Gavoni are kind of getting on board. They moved him into the first round. Like, this dude is the best on-ball defender in college basketball, right? He has the ability to make all the passes you need to make out of ball screens. And by the way, Jeffrey, after he shot 5 for 7 from three last night, he's shooting 49% from three on the season. This dude is a stud.
Honestly, he's almost having a first-team All-American season. And nobody's willing to give him credit because he plays with Jared Butler.
I'm giving him
even more.
Don't say nobody just because I lost a bet, right?
I'm just saying, like you could make a first-team All-American team right now and just go, all right, let's make it easy for ourselves. We're going to go Luka Garza, and then we're going to fill it out with two Gonzaga players, Corey Kispert, and whatever you want to do, Jalen Suggs or Drew Timme, and then we're going to go with Jared Butler and Davion Mitchell, and we're done. We're done. We don't need to overthink this. That's it. We're done.
I think that's what you have to do. And honestly, I would go Timme over Jalen Suggs at this point. I love Jalen, but there's a little bit of a level of inconsistency.
Yeah.
He is so good in the biggest games, like unbelievably good in the biggest moments. But then it's like they go on the road to San Diego or St. Mary's and they're just they're not great at all.
He is a freshman. That's the bottom line there is again, really talented kid. And you wonder how hard it is for a kid like Jalen Suggs to stay motivated throughout this year against some of the competition they're playing against. Nobody's talking about him anymore. I mean, seriously, people are talking about Gonzaga as a whole, but how many people are actually watching Gonzaga right now?
Well, that's the problem. We talked about this a little bit last night. If you think that Baylor is the number one team in the country, you should absolutely rank them there. There's certainly justification to put them at number one in the country. If you are ranking them number one in the country because all of a sudden they're the one winning games while Gonzaga's in the WCC, to me that's not it because we knew this was going to happen, right?
We did, but when it happens, it's different. You say you knew all you want, but when it actually happens and you're like, all right, Gonzaga is playing San Diego and they're playing Pacific and they're playing Pepperdine and Look at Baylor. They're not only playing teams in the Big 12, but they're beating the shit out of them.
Yeah,
It just makes you think. That's all. It just makes you think maybe Baylor's getting better and Gonzaga's, not going to pick up where they left off in the non-conference because
the biggest concern with Gonzaga is like what happens with these bad habits.